And we're your home for Tiger baseball all season long right here. 97.1 The Ticket. The Tiger Caravan is on. Tiger Fest is tomorrow at Comerica Park. And we are pleased and honored to be joined by the manager of the Detroit Tigers here in studio, Ron Gardenhire, here on 97.1 The Ticket. Ron, good to meet you. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We are great. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Excited? Happy? What are the words for a guy who's been in baseball a long time? It's a whole new beginning for you.
Yeah, very excited. You know, I talk to a lot of players on the phone and getting to actually shake their hand and see their faces and their big beards that they've got in the winter. It's kind of cool, and getting to kind of see a little personality in them. That's kind of a start. So, because I don't really know a lot about a lot of these guys other than seeing them from the other side.
Who else besides Norris has the big beard? Norris has the big beard, right?
He's got the really big beard.
I saw Shane Green's got one now, too,
yeah,
right?
I think so, too. So, you know, it's kind of entertaining. They've all walked up to me and says, I'm going to shave it. And I said, I don't care if you wear it. It doesn't bother me.
just throw frickin' strikes, right?
Yeah, that's all. Just
exactly.
Get them out.
Taking over a team that, let's be honest, the expectations are certainly not high. Do you like going in with that? It's kind of you're playing with house money, or would you rather be with a team that can contend right away?
Well, you know what? We've been talking a lot about this, and I've talked to a lot of the players over the phone, and they're really excited. We have a lot of good young talent. We have some veterans. We got to keep healthy. And you know what? We know what this is all about. It is a rebuild, and we've talked about this. And when I took this job, I knew this going in. But this is the major leagues, and when you put a baseball team in the major leagues, you have to go out and perform. You have to go out and play. And I think, you know, we're going to compete. We're going to compete hard. We're going to have a good spring training and kind of get a good feeling about everything and see what happens. So you never know what's going to happen.
Is it that much different than anything you've experienced when you took over from in Minnesota? It was somewhat similar, correct?
We pretty much did that about every 3 years. And, you know, Torrey Hunter left and came to you guys.
Right.
So we lost all of our players all the time, and it was always kind of a rebuild, and you just kind of redoing it, and you just kind of keep this attitude that, you know what, we're going out to compete, and that's what we do.
We're talking to Ron Gardenhire, the Tiger manager. If you want to talk to Ron, any questions, 248-539-9797. As he said when he walked in, he hasn't done anything yet as Tiger manager, so he can't be second-guessed yet. And you can also tweet questions at 97.1 The Ticket XYT. I just wanted to ask you, I wanted to get it out of the way first because I know it's a bad memory for Tiger fans. It's a great memory for you. Game 163, which I still can't believe that they haven't done a 30 for 30 on. I mean, that game had everything in it.
It really did.
What are your memories of that game in terms of the tension level? Because you obviously have a reputation as a pretty low-key guy. That night, were you low-key, or was your stomach churning just like all the fans' stomach was churning?
Oh, I was so relaxed. I mean, it was amazing. You know what? And Jimmy Leland and I talked after the ball game was over with and all this whatever we were celebrating. It was very disappointing, I'm sure, in their clubhouse and through all the things that happened. We walked in the back room, and I walked and met him in the laundry room. And I told him that was the best game I've ever been involved in. And I was in the World Series with the Twins in '91, Game 7, when we won it all. But that game right there was unbelievable. So many things happened. And both teams threw everything we had, and it was incredible. I mean, Brandon Inge getting hit with a pitch that, you know, we don't have instant replay. So sorry, Tiger fans, but it happened.
Randy Marsh was on your payroll, right?
Yeah. So you know what? But it was a great baseball game, and it was a lot of fun and a lot of great memories for our ball club. And if you talked to a lot of the Tiger guys that were there, it was pretty amazing.
And I don't know, something that always ticked me off is that for some reason the Yankees got to decide who they were going to play or when they were going to play. So that meant the next night you guys opened up the ALDS in New York. I'm not saying you got on the plane going to New York knowing you were up against it, but the odds were really stacked again. Because, didn't you celebrate that night? And
I had to stop it. I had to actually stop and say, boys, we have to fly to New York.
Night. Yeah.
So we got in, obviously, in the morning, and we had, I think it was a 5 o'clock game or something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly the time. It wasn't a night game, so... and you're trying to prepare for a playoff series also. So it was a little difficult. But you know what? We went out and we actually gave a pretty good battle that day. And I don't think we were at our best. But after playing 13 innings or 14 innings, our pitching was a little beat up. We had to set a roster. So there was a lot involved. But you know what? I wouldn't change it for anything after the way that was played because that's a memory I'll never, ever forget.
One thing that I've always admired about your teams, and I think a lot of fans around here have always admired about your teams, is the little things. I know you've talked about the little things, but I remember watching games, Twins and Tigers at Comerica Park, and it's like, God, they always take the extra base. They never make mistakes on the base paths. They always hit the cutoff man. Little things like that, which, to be fair, the Tigers have not always done a great job of. Is that one of your big things when it comes to managing a baseball team?
Well, I just don't think you should give away outs or anything, little things like that, and I think you should always try to take advantage. We always said, you want to be the hyena. You want to be the guy that's always out there trying to bite on their heels. And you know what? Our guys believed in that. We had a lot of really good players. As you guys saw, Torrey Hunter, when he was here, he was that kind of player. He was all over the place. He never gave anything away. And you know what? I learned that from Tom Kelly. He was a great manager. And we always talked about be ready for the first pitch, be ready for the first inning, and that's kind of the way we prepared. So we knew that, what we were. We didn't have all the power hitters. We knew that we were going to be changing a lot. So we took what we had, and we just tried to be a very aggressive baseball team and fundamentally sound. And you have to work hard at that, and you have to have the players believe in it, and hopefully we'll be able to do that around here.
When the Tigers hired you, it was kind of like a mixed reaction. There were those, the old school guys say, yes, we saw what he did with Minnesota. We know we're going to be a rebuilding team. And then you had the analytic crowd who said he hated analytics and all this kind of stuff. Have you changed in that? And is analytics good for baseball or bad?
We didn't have analytics basically in Minnesota. I asked one of our guys one time, I said, go up there and get in that doggone computer and print me out a lineup. And he comes back and he puts like 4 names down. And I'm like, well, where's the rest of the lineup? And he said, they're not that good. It doesn't matter where you put them. I went, time. You can't be like that. We got to write a lineup. So I was out in Arizona last year and we got involved in it, and I actually saw it firsthand, and analytics and sabermetrics and all this stuff, and it's just a lot more information, and it's kind of cool. A lot of different ways you can use it, and we've been talking with our guys here, and it's pretty exciting. I know this organization is going to go that way, and I'm learning too. It's a process. I don't think anybody totally understands it, but it's a good process, and it was fun for me last year, and I learned a lot.
There are those, and I was one of these people, and I still am in different ways, that are kind of, Jim Leland used to say, this is the city of the bunt, because people would argue about bunting. So I'll ask you, are you pro-bunting or anti-bunting?
You know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. If a situation comes up and I really believe it should be a bunt, I will. But the bunt has kind of gone away. But I'm not afraid to bunt in the right situation with the right person up there. I tend to tell players more that bunt for a base hit. This is a great opportunity to bunt for a base hit. You get them over, and you might get on the base. So it's kind of gone that way. We did that in Arizona a little bit, very seldom bunt, just let them swing. I don't have a problem with that. But there's going to be a time in a ballgame when you might have to get a bunt down and get the guy over and try to win a ballgame.
We're talking to Ron Gardenhire here on 97.1 The Ticket, home of Tiger Baseball, the new Tiger manager. Tiger tickets, individual game tickets go on sale tomorrow, and, of course, tomorrow's Tiger Fest down at Comerica Park. I don't know how you're going to fill out your lineup card. Odds are we'll see Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez hitting 3rd and 4th or somewhere around there. Both these guys have dealt with injuries in the last few years. And I know you haven't had a chance to really sit down and get to know them yet. Maybe you have over the years as Twins manager.
Oh, I saw them, believe me.
I know you saw. I know you saw them. I know you saw them, and maybe
whacked us enough.
Maybe pitched around them a little bit.
Yeah, he'd wink at me an awful lot. Cabrera always did. He'd look at me and go, and I'm like, no, you're not getting me.
But what's your approach to guys like that who, look, they're going to be in Cooperstown, they're Hall of Famers. If they're hurt, if they're banged up, and maybe they should take a day off, or maybe they should go on the DL. These are prideful guys who I think at times over the last couple of years may have done themselves more harm than good by not sitting down. Or do you sit down with Miguel Cabrera and say, Miggy, listen, I'm sitting you? Or do you? Okay,
that's a constant. You know what? It's conversation. It's a communication, and knowing where they're at in their careers. And you know what? That's going to be a big job here. Is to protect. We need those guys healthy. We need to keep them healthy. We need to use them in the right way, and you know what, I will have those big conversations with them, and I know they're going to argue against me, but ultimately I have that ink pen, and I will set them down when I have to. We did this with, my guys in Minnesota, Maurer, Morneau. They wanted to play all the time, and there was just times when you're not playing. I don't care what you say. You're not starting. You might come in and pinch hit, but you're not starting that day, and we just did it just to protect ourselves and them.
Now, Jamie brought up the lineup, and it goes back to the sabermetrics. There are people that believe that your best hitter, let's say Cabrera, should bat second.
Yes.
Victor definitely shouldn't bat fourth because of lack of speed. Have you thought about where you're going to slot these guys yet?
Not really. You know what? I haven't seen enough of all this team to really sit there and say, this guy's first, second. I've seen all these lineups written in newspapers and articles and projected lineups, but you know what? I want to see these guys on the field. I want to get down there. I want to talk to Lloyd McClendon and Clarkey, the guys that have been here, and get their feelings on these players. They know them a little bit better than I do, so there's going to be a lot involved. There's a lot involved in putting a lineup out, And sure, there's going to be people saying this and that, and I understand all that, but we're gonna talk to all the people and get it all down in spring training and kind of write these lineups out and figure out where people fit.
One of the things I always liked about the Twins is the fact that you mentioned Tom Kelly before. Tom Kelly was the manager for, in baseball terms, seemed like forever.
Yeah.
And then you took over, and you were there for, in baseball terms, forever. So for the longest times, the Twins had 2 managers. You look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, they've had 3 coaches as long as I've been a football fan. And in a way, you're kind of arguing for job security here, but how important is that, do you think? I mean, all these teams are going 1 year, 2 years, whatever. I mean, some coaches don't even get a whole season. What does it mean to become the Tiger manager and maybe stay here and have a consistent voice over the organization for an extended period of time? And what did that mean to the Twins and the building of the Twins organization?
First, have you ever thought about being an agent? Because you could be mine right now. If you want to go ahead and get that contract done.
Sure. Okay.
You know what? It was all about, the family atmosphere in Minnesota. It was all about, Tom Kelly. The owner believed in, just the same guy. I mean, it's a family thing. You get to know them, and they just trust you. And that's kind of the way it went. And I worked under Tom Kelly for 11 years as a coach. And he was the one that kind of pressed the issue for me becoming the manager. And when I was there, I was really close with the ownership. And, they gave me a great opportunity, 13 years. And when they fired me, they felt bad about it. And I was like, don't feel bad. We sucked. It just got to that point where we stunk. And but that's the way it is over there. And you know what? It doesn't happen very much anymore. And baseball is continually moving people in and out, and that's just the way it is. But it worked over there, and it still works over there. They believe in, just trying to study the ship and leave it alone, and it's a good way. I was lucky. I'm very lucky.
That's Ron Gardenhire. Coming up next, we'll take your calls and texts. You can get involved, ask a question to the new Tiger manager, 248-539-9797. Ticket text 97136, or you can ask questions on Twitter as well at 971 the ticket XYT.